Imagine surviving a disaster that never happened, only to find out it was never a dream, it was a warning. And now death isn't coming for you, it's coming for your entire bloodline. This is the brutal story of Final Destination Bloodlines, the sixth and darkest entry in the franchise. And today I'll break down exactly how it twists the original formula, kills off legacy characters, and redefines death's rules for good. Let's begin, not where the movie starts, but where everything truly begins, Skyview Tower. The film opens like classic Final Destination, happy couple, high expectations, and a hint of dread you can't quite place. Paul is behind the wheel. His girlfriend Iris is blindfolded. He's planned something special. They arrive at Skyview Tower, a 150-meter tall restaurant built entirely out of steel and glass, finished 5 months ahead of schedule. That alone should have been the first red flag, and it makes Iris a little uneasy. Inside, things seem perfect. Champagne, roses, a glass dance floor, and the promise of a proposal. But just as Paul drops to one knee and Iris reveals she's pregnant, a kid throws a coin into a ceiling vent, jamming the fan, and like clockwork, it begins. The coin triggers a domino effect. Screws rattle loose, glass cracks, and the dance floor collapses under dozens of people mid-celebration. Paul falls, and Iris? She helplessly watches. Then the kitchen explodes. The stairs collapse. The elevator snaps. The tower dies, piece by piece, one horrifying mechanical failure after another. In the chaos, Iris sees a little boy trapped under rubble. She reaches for him, and then they fall, together. Except none of it actually happened. Cut to present day. A college student named Stephanie wakes up screaming in class. This isn't just a dream. It's the same nightmare she's had for weeks. Same tower, same coin, and same deaths. But the strangest part, the woman in her dream was her grandmother. A woman she's never met, a woman named Iris. Haunted by questions, Stephanie digs through family secrets, old photos, and dusty boxes, trying to piece together who Iris really was. Her cousins call Iris insane. Her uncle says she went off the rails after her husband died. She locked her kids inside the house, became obsessed with death, and warned everyone they'd die in the order they were never meant to be born. That's when Stephanie finds it, an address to a cabin. The cabin is fortified like a bunker. Steel doors, no technology, no mirrors, just one old woman. When Iris sees her granddaughter, she doesn't flinch. She knows why Stephanie's here and what she's been dreaming. Then Iris reveals the truth. That disaster at Skyview, it almost happened, but she stopped it. She took the coin. She warned the crowd. She saved dozens of people, but saving them meant cheating death, and death never forgets. Iris explains what every Final Destination fan knows. If you dodge death once, it hunts you down later, mercilessly. But this time it's different. Death isn't just going after survivors. It's targeting their descendants, their bloodlines. Everyone who lived that night went on to have children, children who should never have existed. Now death is coming for them, and it starts with Stephanie's family. Stephanie returns home with Iris's book, filled with death's patterns, survivor names, and theories. But the family still won't believe her until the barbecue. A shard of glass from earlier ends up in a drink. A hose inflates by accident. A rake knocks over a switch. And then, Uncle Howard is shredded by a lawnmower in front of his kids, exactly as predicted. That's when Stephanie realizes death's coming branch by branch, oldest to youngest. And next up is Eric. Eric doesn't believe any of it. Even after the lawnmower incident, he laughs it off. I survived a fire, he says. I'm untouchable. But Stephanie sees the pattern. Julia is next. She tries to warn them, but Julia rolls her eyes and walks off, right into the worst death scene in the movie. Kids playing football, a kicked ball, a garbage bin tipped open, and Julia, dazed, falls in. The garbage truck driver, totally distracted, headphones in with the loud music, completely oblivious. By the time Stephanie climbs in to help, it's too late. The lid shuts, and Julia's gone, crushed. Only her arm left dangling out of the compactor. Stephanie collapses. She thought it was Eric's turn, but then comes the twist. He wasn't next, because he was never part of the bloodline. Aunt Brenda finally speaks up. Eric isn't Howard's biological son. That's why death skipped him. Stephanie didn't mess up the pattern. She didn't know. Now the list is clear. Howard, gone. Julia, gone. Bobby, next. Then Darlene, Stephanie, and finally Charlie. It's not a coincidence. It's death's equation. And right now, Bobby's running out of time. Stephanie searches the book. There's only one name linked to surviving death, JB. Her mom remembers that name. A friend of Iris's, worked in a hospital an hour away. They race to Hope River. There they meet an older man, calm, quiet, and eerily familiar. This is William B. Worth. Fans know him as JB. JB was at Skyview as a child. Iris saved his life. Since then, he's been studying death's design. He confirms it. There are only two ways to beat the cycle. First one is to kill someone and inherit their years. or die and get brought back. Yeah, but he warns them, if you fail, death doesn't forgive. Well, Eric, desperate to save Bobby, makes a plan. Peanut allergy, close the airway, inject the EpiPen, and break the cycle. It sounds clean and controlled, except its final destination. Eric gets the peanuts from a vending machine, but the machine fights back, springs flying loose. Inside the hospital, they lock themselves in a room, but it's an MRI room. Eric doesn't notice until the machine powers on. His piercings, his rings, studs, chains start vibrating, and then it pulls him in, slowly, brutally. Every piece of metal tearing through him. Bobby crawls toward the EpiPen. He injects himself and luckily survives, but only for 1 second. Then the vending machine spring, yes, the same one, shoots out, straight through his forehead. 2 brothers, 2 deaths, all in under 2 minutes. The survivors rush to Iris's cabin, one last sanctuary. If it kept her alive for decades, maybe it can buy them time. Stephanie stays in the van. Charlie and Darlene head in. Then, everything explodes. The gas line, the coin from Iris's book, the flame that catches it all. Charlie is buried under rubble. Darlene frees him, and then a power pole falls on her, dead, just like Iris, sacrificing herself for her child. Meanwhile, Stephanie, trapped in the submerged van, runs out of air. Charlie dives in, pulls her free, performs CPR, and somehow, she lives. Did they finally do it? Did they break the cycle? But wait, a few days later, Charlie gets ready for prom. Stephanie fixes a rose on his lapel. She pricks her finger, just like Iris did. Meanwhile, a woman drops a coin near a train station. It rolls, gets stuck on the track switch, and here comes the red car. Yes, that red car. From the very first scene, Charlie's date's father approaches. He's a doctor. He casually tells them, at that night, Stephanie wasn't dead, just unconscious. CPR didn't count. It makes her anxious just then. The train barrels forward. They try to run, but the train derails. Logs fly off the back. One slams into Stephanie, another into Charlie. Death finishes what it started. The bloodline ends. But if there's one thing we've learned from Final Destination, it never really ends. It just waits. Thanks for watching. If you made it this far, stay sharp, stay lucky, and whatever you do, don't ignore the signs because death doesn't wait.